Hello, and welcome to this brief introduction to the concept of follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. And, it'd be really silly for a farmer to go through all the work of planting his field and weeding the field and watering the field and then not show up for harvest. When we plant a seed, it may take a while for it to go from seedling to sprouting to actually becoming a full-grown plant and then producing some fruit. Producing the wheat, if you will. But again, if you're not there for the harvest, if you're not there for harvesting season, might as well not have planted. Now, I can't tell you the number of Nikken consultants that I've seen who have planted, not been there for the harvest, somebody else harvested them. Maybe another Nikken distributor came along and talked to them. They go, well, someone talked to me, but they never came by for the order. I was interested, but they never followed up. Or maybe someone from another company came and got them interested in another deal. So folks, let's get people excited. Let's water them, let's weed them, and let's be there for harvest. So let me talk about a few features that may be helpful for you as you look at this concept. We want to become professional at our follow-up. Well, how do we become professional at follow-up? I think the first thing is to realize how important it is. First off, if you talk to someone just one time, in your Nikken business, what you're going to find is that about 2% of the people will join you. You have a launch, you have a one-on-one presentation, you bring them to a preview. Maybe 2% of the people will get involved. If you follow up a second time, then you're going to find roughly 5% of the people getting involved. If you follow up a third time, you're going to discover that about 10% of the people get involved. The magic here comes, folks, the magic will come when you really start getting into the fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh time of talking with someone. Let me illustrate here. If you talk to folks a fourth time, you're going to get 20% of the people on board. You talk to them a fifth time, that's going to equal 40% of the people jumping on board. Now watch this. Sixth time, whoop, got a spell right here. Your sixth follow-up equals 80% of the people jumping on board. And a seventh follow-up, wow, you're going to get real excited at the results there. So take a real good look at those numbers. The fortune is in the follow-up, and not just following up once. The fortune is when you really get good and realize that, hey man, if I go through here and follow up the fifth, sixth, and seventh time, magic can begin to take place. What you want to do is understand this next principle really, really well. If you take people through a process in which they get 5 to 7 exposures, then you're going to have success in your business. That's called helping people to be professionally followed up with. The problem comes when we think that, oh, I talked to them last week, I'm not going to bother them this week. Oh, I already mentioned something to them. I already demonstrated the products, therefore there's nothing left for me to do. You want to make sure you find a very good, solid means and method of taking people through a 5 to 7 exposure process of getting into Nikken. And please forgive my drawings here as we go through this next portion. But this next part is really, really important. So let's say, don't know how that happened. Let me back that up here. Boom, 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 boom. I need to find a paintbrush. There we go. Let's say that you have talked to someone and you've, over the phone, set up an appointment. That's, if you will, exposure 1. And the thing that you want to do is you want to get them committed to meeting with you personally. And that might be a one-on-one appointment, or it may be that you're doing an ABC appointment where you're taking someone with you to do the presenting. And that's what you should be doing your first 5 to 10 presentations especially, but preferably doing a 21 club where you're doing at least 21 ABC presentations. So your whole goal of talking someone to begin with is not to say, wow, Nikken's a great company. Your whole goal is to get them interested enough that they'd be willing to meet with you where you can give a really good one-on-one or ABC presentation. What is the goal of that one-on-one presentation? I don't try to get them signed up there. If it happens, great. but I found that the orders are smaller if I take the order at that point because they don't have a big enough vision yet. My goal is to get them curious enough that they're willing to now come to my turf, whether that be a hotel meeting, a wellness home tour, or an event in my home. But I want them to come to, I'm just going to call this in a preview, or an event where they get to see the bigger picture. It could be a wellness home tour, it could be a wellness preview, it could be you're zooming people in as you show people the products of your home, but you're zooming them into someone else's presentation. And so now we've got 3 different exposures that have taken place. What I really want to talk about here right now is how do we do this space right here in the middle that I'm going to call it fillers. We need to fill this space between the one-on-one appointment and when we get them to an event. What are these fillers and how do we do those professionally? So as we look at this, a filler could be, we leave them with a CD and we give them a specific time to listen to it. So when I'm at the one-on-one appointment, I say, I've got a CD here for you to listen to. It's got some really incredible experiences of people with these technologies. If I left this with you, would you be able to go through it by tonight, or would you need until tomorrow to finish it? And if you don't do that, they're just going to kind of throw it aside and listen to it sometime, possibly next year. But if you give them a specific time, would you be able to go through it by tonight, or would you need until tomorrow to finish it? Well, then let's see. Today's Monday, and you said, well, I can finish it tomorrow. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a call on Wednesday. You're going to have questions when you go through it. Write those down. I'll call you back on Wednesday to see what we can do. So you set up a follow-up time, a follow-up call, if you will, and ask them specific time of day. Would that be better at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock? Get their phone number and set up a specific call time that you, not in person, but you call them back. And as I end my conversation, that before I walk out the door or have them walk out, I tell them, I say, by the way, we get to work with an amazing group of people. From time to time, I'll see if I can link you up with them. And what that opens up is it makes it so that the possibility that when I call them back, I say, hey, Sally, it's Brody. How you doing? And she says, great. I said, hey, I'm just following up like I said I would. I knew you would have questions after you went over that CD, and I've got a special surprise for you. Remember I told you we get to work with some really great people? Well, I was fortunate enough to be able to get one of those on the line with me right now, and maybe I introduce Dave Johnson or introduce Bruce Erickson or introduce whoever it is, and I say, I knew you'd have questions, and I wanted you to meet some of the great people we get to work with, and so I got them on the phone for you right now. Be excited about introducing them. And I've never had that go wrong. So 3-way phone calls are a really great way to do fillers. The other thing you can do is you can leave emails for them. But don't just send it and hope they get it. First ask, do you look at your email? How often? Do you see it daily? Do you see it monthly, weekly? Oh, I look at my emails daily. Okay, great. Well, you had questions about the Nikken waterfall. I'm going to send you a video that has highlights of what the waterfall does, how it affects pH, its benefits. I'll also send you a QRS sheet. I'll send that today. Would you be able to review that by tonight, or would you need until tomorrow to finish it? And again, you can then follow up with a personal phone call so that they actually go through the information as opposed to delete, which is what happens to most emails. So if you're going to send an email, and you should, make sure that that email has a specific follow-up deadline attached with it. It's a really great way to send more information. You can also have brochures. Maybe print something out. Print out a QRS sheet and drive by and drop it by at their work. So they see that you're being professional. They see that you are really engaged in this. Have a conversation. Do another invite. Maybe give a written invitation to the preview. So print it out as opposed to just texting. Oh, are texts good ways to follow up? Texts are amazing ways to follow up if they're not nuisance texts, if they actually have some substance. For instance, every time I go to an event and I hear a new testimonial, I record it on my phone. There's a little voice recording feature. And then when I send texts, I can attach things to my text. There's a little attachment, the little paper clip. And so I click the paper clip and I go to those voice recordings and I send them a testimonial. It's another way of following up and giving a filler so that they're having more context between the one-on-one and the preview. The goal, creating 5 to 7 exposures. Now, how often should we follow up with people? We should follow up every 24 to 48 hours. And that's key. If you let the pot get cold, it takes a whole lot longer to warm it back up. Your goal is to keep the pot warm so that when they get to the preview, poof, they get to boiling point and they're excited and they've got enough energy to make that locomotive move. So, anyway, fillers. So we have CDs, we have follow-up calls, we have 3-ways, emails, brochures, written invitations, previews, texting, and of course, doing rollouts is an amazing way to be able to move your Nikken business forward. Rollouts are an amazing way to move your Nikken business forward. So with that in mind, I just wanted to make sure that you have an idea of what the process is. I understand that creating 5 to 7 exposures is really, really key. One last point on this, and that is at the end of the preview, the ultimate goal is, after this point, if you've had 5 to 7 exposures, they're either going to use the product, buy stuff, become a registered customer. By the way, an important reason to make them registered customers is so that their Nikken's email list, and as Nikken sends out information in the future, they will be on that list. But the thing that you're looking towards is getting them launched, and we're going to have more information on launching in the future, but launching is absolutely key. Now, follow-up. I want to talk about something right here at the one-on-one presentation. When you're done, a way to know how to follow up is you got to ask the right question. And there are 3 questions that I ask at the end of my one-on-one presentation. And I ask them, are you more interested in getting more information about our products, the business, or perhaps maybe a little of both? And then I chuckle and I say, or would you just like me to pack my bags and leave? And that usually relieves the pressure or the tension, so to speak, and lets them know that it's okay for them to say no. This may or may not be for you. There's 101 ways to say this may or may not be for you. One of them that I do at this point is I say, would you simply like me to pack my bags and leave? Oh, I misspelled products there. So let's see, questions that they might ask. Okay, that's the end of the one-on-one presentation. And then when I give CDs, I'll give CDs that are more product-based or more business-based, follow-up material that leads to their needs. Understand what happens when you ask this question is that many people will pause. If someone says, not interested in the business, they're not interested in the business. But many people will pause. They're thinking, if I tell him I'm interested in the business, he's going to expect me to do it. Or I'm not sure what my spouse is going to think if I say I'm interested in the business. And so what I do is I ask it one more time. I say, you know what? Great. I'll give you information about the waterfall, but are you even curious about how this works as a business? Because I'm not looking for a commitment to do it, but if you'd like more information about how the business functions, I'd be happy to send you information about how the business works. And I find probably 80-90% of the people, if I ask it in that way, are now open to receiving information about the business, which is really, really important so that you can give that information and have permission to talk more about the business in the future. So anyway, huge, huge important question to ask. You want more information about the products, the business, both. Never, I repeat, never, never, never. Big, big mistake. Never judge for yourself. If you've given a good one-on-one presentation with a little information about products, a little information about business, they're going to have curiosities about the business. If all you've talked about is the product, of course they're not going to have questions about the business. They're not even going to know it exists. So make sure your one-on-one presentation has a little information about the product, a little information about the business. Get them curious. Ask the question at the end. Do you want more information about the products, business, both? And now if they say products, the correct follow-up is to say the best way to get the most information in the shortest period of time is to come to whatever event you've got. We're going to have the products on display. You're going to see them. You'll learn a ton. If someone says they're mostly interested in the business, then your best response is the best place to come to get the most information in the shortest period of time about our business is to come to the preview. And so the answer is the same for both. Come to the event, whether it be your wellness home tour or whatever it is, where you're going to share the big vision of Nikken. You want them to come to that second stage of coming to the preview. As you're walking out the door, you hand them the fillers, the CDs, the brochures, tell them you're going to send the email, etc., to fill in that space so that they have proper follow-up. And I'm going to write this down one more time so that you don't forget. We should have follow-up. How often? We should be following up every 24 to 48 hours. Very, very important to make sure you find a way to do that. You don't just call up and say, hey, how's it going today, and bug them, but always calling with a purpose, always being in touch with a purpose. Hey, I found this piece of information, thought you might like it. Hey, I just sent you an email, thought you might like some of the information on there. Hey, just giving a reminder about the wellness preview that's coming up. Those are really, really important things when you follow up with a purpose. When you follow up, also follow up humanly, not robotically. Ask them that time-honored acronym form. Ask them more about their family, their occupation, recreation, how's work today, all those types of things, and then make sure you follow up with the purpose. Okay, with that out of mind, next principles. Bugging. Oh, I used to worry that I was bugging people when I would follow up. And getting that out of your head can be really, really important. For instance, I call back when they tell me to call back and they're not there. And then I call back 2 hours later and they're not there. And then I call back the third time. Oh, don't leave 3 messages in one day, only 1 message in one day. But then I call the next day and they're not there. I don't leave a message that day. I call the day after that. I do leave a message, and here's the message that I leave. By this time, my brain is like frying with, oh no, they're screening their calls, or they think I'm crazy, or all the crazy things that go through our head. When really 48 hours ago, they were really excited at the initial demo, but I'm playing mind games. In order to get out of the mind games, here's what I do. This could be on day 3 or 4. I'll leave a message that might go something like this: ring, 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 ring. Here comes the answering machine again. By the way, it's not because they're avoiding you. It's because they're busy. And most people don't answer their phone calls anymore. They answer texts. The best way to get a hold of somebody now is text up. Hey, I tried calling. Couldn't reach you. When is a good time to connect today? And then they text back, I've got 5 minutes at this time. And I might say in my text, when do you have 5 minutes that we can connect today? So they know it's not going to be a long call. But if I do leave a voicemail, the voicemail is like this: ring, 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 ring. Hey, Sally, how you doing? This is Brody. Just following up like I said I would. And by the way, if for some reason you're not interested now, please, please, please let me know. I don't want to be bugging you. But on the other hand, I knew that you did have quite a bit of interest when we talked on Monday. And so I just wanted to make sure you got the information in the email, that you're able to listen to that CD, see if you had any questions. Feel free to give me a jingle. Otherwise, I'll try calling again tomorrow. So what I'm trying to do with that call is get the monkey off my back, that little voice that's saying you're bugging them. By telling them, hey, if you're not interested, give me a call and let me know, it puts the monkey on their back and also lets them know it's okay to say no. It's totally okay to say no. And that then gives me permission to move forward. Never end a voicemail by saying, give me a call, because now you're disempowered to give them a call back. It's your job to call them. So I say, give me a call if you're not interested. If you get this message, have time to chat, call me. Otherwise, I'll just try to give you a jingle tomorrow. So those are real important things about following up. Never feel like you're bugging somebody. Be professional. Let's see, what else is on this list I want to go over? 5 to 7 exposures. Some people are not used to working as a team. Let me get a new screen here to show you what I'm talking about. How do I do this? Boom, new. There we go. Okay. So what I mean by working as a team is the following. What a lot of people do is, as they are approaching, here's you Inc., and you've got a new potential client or a customer right here. And a lot of us are used to just giving all the information ourselves. But again, this 5 to 7 exposures thing is really, really important. And you want to use the team, the system, the tools. So what if you, when you set up the appointment, you brought someone with you, you brought an A. What if you actually had a CD to give to them, and now they've got 30 testimonials that they listen to? They listen to it Tuesday night going home from work, and then they listen to it Wednesday morning, and they listen to that CD again on Wednesday night as they're going home from their commute. What if you followed up with a 3-way phone call and they heard from somebody else's perspective? What if maybe you did 2 3-way phone calls and gave them yet another person's perspective? Maybe I call it match the hat. They've got a back problem, link them with someone else that had a back problem. They've got concerns about the business, so we link them up with someone who's been successful with the business. What if we didn't try to do this alone and we got them to an event where they got to talk to 3 or 4 or 5 other people who use Nikken products and are excited about them, or who've had success with this business and are excited about them? What if we plug them into a webinar where someone else is presenting? My question for you is, as you take a good look at this, I want you to think, what is going to be more successful? You alone, which is just you doing this thing, or taking people through, taking people through the entire process? Well, obviously, using the CDs, using the presentation guides, using 3-way phone calls, getting people to events, etc., is going to be much more effective. So that is a key principle I wanted you to think about as you think of the fortune is in the follow-up. Texting. Texting is key for follow-up now. Texting is key to remind people. What I do is I put a place in my calendar. If my preview is on Thursday, I write a list of invitees. So I've got a repeated Thursday night event that says preview. And then at 6 o'clock, I write invitees. And so everyone who gets invited, every time I invite somebody, I put their name in there. Ben, Sally, Jessica, etc. On Wednesday night, I send out a text to everybody reminding them, don't forget tomorrow night's preview. Here's the address. Here's the time. We start promptly at 7, meet and greets at 6:45. So those are important things. Texting can be good. Email can be good if they do it. Another important thing for email is you may want to look at getting Boomerang. You would Google Boomerang for Hotmail or Boomerang for Gmail. I know it works with Gmail. It doesn't work with all email accounts, but Boomerang is a way you could type up 5 or 6 emails and have one delivered today, and the next one doesn't get sent, but you don't have to send it. You send it now, but it doesn't arrive in their email box for 3 days. And then the next one arrive in day 5, the next one arrive in day 7. So you can space some of those out, and again, they get the follow-up. The other thing that's real important for follow-up, being professional in today's era, all of Nikken's brochures are available electronically. You can download them to a folder on your smart device so that when you're in their home and they say, hey, I'd like more information about the sleep system, you just say, well, super, what's your email address? Now you've collected their email. And I'll send you a brochure on it, and you attach to it the electronic brochure right then and there. It can land in their email box the moment before you've even left, or you send it when you get out to your car after the one-on-one appointment. You don't finish, you don't consider the appointment done until you've sent that follow-up email that has the information in it. So I really recommend you download the electronic brochures and QRS sheets to your smart device so that you can send those out right at that point. If not, immediately go home and send those things out. I also recommend that you call and confirm that they got it, or text and confirm that they got it. Let's see, for your career. But the most important follow-up tools that I'm recommending that everyone have, there's a huge myriad of follow-up tools. You can get them at Focus on Growth. Lots of things to choose from there. But the two that I want everyone to have when they launch, I tell everyone to at least get 100 of the CDs, Freedom Through Total Wellness at Focus on Growth. You order 100 of them, you get them for $1 a piece. You have to call in to do that. You can't do it online. It's $3 a piece online. But if you do 100 or more, you get them for $1 a piece. The other is Bliss Business has the book, The 4-Year Career. And that is really good and key for explaining network marketing. I think that's it. I hope this has been helpful. If you have questions, please feel free to give me a call. And we'll catch you guys on the Nikken Highway. Remember, the fortune. There is one other thing here. The fortune is in the follow-up. I call this my Just Do It book. And now I've got the prospect worksheet where I track all the people who we've been taking through the process. And each person who's being taken through the process, I have their name and their phone numbers and what they've done, what they've accomplished. And when I'm working with someone else, helping them get a silver ship done or a 21 club, I'm not only tracking my people, but I put their name at the top of the sheet and all the people that they have contacted. So, at any rate, that is a way of keeping track of what you've done follow-up, so you don't have to just remember, oh, who has this product, who has that product. Oh, one other thing. If you're loaning product, create in your contact list something that says Nikken Loan. And then every time you loan products, write BAN, mattress, waterfall, mag steps, mag duo. And that will create a way for you to keep track of who has what. Write it down. After you're working with more than 2 or 3 or 10 or 20 people, you will not remember which CDs you've given, who's got the books, who's been given this web link, who's been given that brochure. Write it down. Okay, with that in mind, I hope you guys are having a fabulous, fabulous Nikken journey, and look forward to seeing you all at Royal Ambassador. We'll see you. Bye-bye.